What inspired me to do my research in physical activity for kids with neurodevelopmental conditions was that we really didn't have an evidence base to draw upon to show that what we were doing in a day-to-day basis and in my clinical work was really effective. So my passion for the project and the onus for doing my PhD was really to build that evidence base and find out what is it that we do that makes our programs really effective at helping kids with those additional needs engage in community-based exercise and physical activity, and providing them an opportunity to have fun, but also build the individual skills that they need to allow them to connect better with their community. The guiding concept of Thriving Families was really to pull in the physical literacy model and apply it to the young people that we were seeing in our program. So the physical literacy model brings in not just the physical component, so are they strong enough to complete the activity? It brings in the social component as well, and also the psychological component. So do they have the motivation to engage in physical activity, but also do they have the confidence? And what we really wanted to do was model each component within our Thriving Families to make sure that we were giving them to the skills to excel at each component, and really wrapping that around together in the intervention and allowing them an opportunity to apply that outside of Thriving and into their home communities. So what Thriving Families looked like for families that engaged with the program were that the children came to small group, so 3 children to 1 instructor based exercise once a week for a period of 10 weeks. And what happened was that those children engaged with our instructors and worked on the goals that they had and wanted to achieve in our program. At the same time, parents came and had one-to-one workshops or small group workshops with myself, and we worked on creating a space where we provided some education. They got to work on individual activity plans for their specific child to address their child's specific needs. And we really provided a supportive environment for them to troubleshoot anything that they were going through or that they might have needed in order to upskill themselves as parent coaches and allow them to better support their children outside of our intervention. And what we were hoping to find was that the parents were giving consistent messages with what our instructors were providing, and that would enable those children to better translate the supportive care that they were getting and the positive exercise environment that they were getting at Thriving Families, and really translate that into their home life, particularly when they came up against challenges related to engaging in school sport or in community-based sport. One of the great benefits of involving parents as the coaches was that we recognised that parents really are the best place to see their child in all sorts of different environments. And part of the intervention was to upskill the parents and to give them the tools to translate what we were learning in the program and apply that to the challenges that they might have been seeing with their child through mainstream sport or in school-based settings. So what we did was that children had individualised goals. They took home activity packs and they were able to apply the lessons that we were practicing in Thriving Families and practice that together as a family to try and build that confidence and motivation and apply that into real-world settings beyond just our program. The surprising finding from the research was that parents telling us that providing them the opportunity to engage in research and also providing the space and support networks with other parents really gave them the time and the space to prioritise what physical activity looks like for their child and any additional needs that they could provide to their child to better engage in community sport and also on a day-to-day basis. One of the parents shared that after a workshop, she went home to her husband and really relayed the messages that we were talking about that day in the workshop. And what that meant is that as a family, they then prioritised actually exercising together rather than each of them individually going about their physical activity and not having an option for their child to engage in. Favourite moment or finding from my PhD was really when a parent shared that after 6 months of trying to teach their son how to ride a bike, they finally had the success through doing the weekly workshops in Thriving. And they were so excited that they actually screamed, and another passerby was quite scared, but they were just so overjoyed that finally it connected for their son, even though it took them so much longer to learn the skill, to apply the skill. And the parent actually recognised their own frustration over that journey. And what that meant is that now that young person can ride the neighbourhood with his friends, can engage with his sibling, and also it means that it opens up a brand new range of opportunities for them to engage in physical activity as a family. If I was going to get any school or community sport to change how they engage young people, it would be that every young child can engage based on whatever their ability is. So I would provide more opportunities for different scalable physical activity options so that every child can engage no matter their ability, and allow them to engage and participate in a fun and encouraging environment. And I think that's probably one of the biggest changes that schools can make. I think for young people, when they see their family, their parent, their siblings exercising, I think they really do adopt this mindset of, if they're doing it, then I might be able to do it as well. And so it really breaks down the barrier of having a friend to do it with. You can create nice, fun challenges, and they get quite competitive with their parents in terms of engaging in physical activity. So I think parents really do play that central role model for their children becoming physically active. My dream scenario would be that Thriving Families is rolled out nationwide, that any family who was looking for some physical activity support or wanted to have better knowledge of how they could support their young people would be able to access the program, but also so that young people could engage in any community-based sport and be met with a really positive exercise environment where they weren't scared to engage. They knew that they would find supportive people, and they would be able to try anything that they wanted to in respect with exercise. If you're looking to upskill and you want to know more about how to better work with people and young people that have behavioural or emotional difficulties, there are a number of professional development courses that are offered in the industry and also by Thriving, where we can walk you through different case studies, how to apply that knowledge, and really become those mentors in the space on how you might better engage with these young people. It's a great moment in my research journey where a lovely 11-year-old boy asked me if I really wanted to commit to this research project and did I really want this to be what my life's work was about, which gave me a big chuckle, and I'm happy to report that yes, I do want to commit to doing this as my life's work, and I'm really glad that I stuck with the research project.